What's good, YouTube? Today, I'm going to show you guys the best Akashas for the global Soulworker version right now. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm wearing. Junk Queen for the crit damage and for the extra damage to bosses. +1 Mk2 to recover stamina. Great, very great card. As I'm currently on HH, this may potentially be changed out with a more damage orientated card once I move to Lunarfall. But overall, Mk2 is a really great card. Black Gauntlet, overall amazing card, always has been in every version of Soulworker. For the attack speed, especially for Irwin, he scales so hard with attack speed. Definitely helps. That way you can keep your passive up, your passive attack damage buff up. Then you have the critical rate from Leona, which again, that is amazing, especially paired with a Junk Queen. But that direct attack to up my critical rate, really, really good for any class, really, to be honest, or any Soulworker. And then Rosca, got really lucky with this card. Gives you increased soul force every 10 seconds. So honestly, I can almost permanently keep up my desire awakening now that I'm in that form. I can almost permanently keep desire awakening up depending on the dungeon. But yeah, it's near 100% with that Rosca. But those are the cards I currently have that are really good. In essence of power, like for priority for leveling for my current cards, I would be leveling my Leona next, and then hopefully I could level one of the 5 stars. I mean, that would obviously be first if I had one of these other cards, but the chances of me getting one of these 2 cards again, it's gonna be pretty rare. But assuming that I'm not getting those, priority would be Leona for me, and then after Leona, it would be Black Gauntlet, and I would get those to +2. But I don't really have enough cards right now to really get those to where I want them to be. So we step into the encyclopedia, we can check, and I'm just gonna point out useful cards because they're tier 1. So I'm just gonna point out useful tier 1 cards, right? Temptation Stone is semi useful. It does have its uses. It's not going to be the most useful card. Junk Knight, which turns into Balride, or it used to be called Balride. Not sure on the translation, but this is a really good card for mob clear and leveling. That would be its main use case. It's going to be leveling or mob clear. You're doing like lower level raids or maybe helping a friend out in dungeons. DSX, again, really great for mob clear, especially if you're doing rookie raids or it even Golden Citadel. DSX is a really good card. And then you have Brook here, which is a lower level version of Leona. Don't really need to explain that. It's a damage card. Damage cards are always going to be good. Then we have Black Gauntlet, which, like I said, that's what I'm rocking. It gives you increased attack speed. Great card. I always get her confused with Leona because she has red hair. Tender is not good though. She's a fake Leona. Shadow Dancer is an okay starter card. It's an okay starter card, but you want to change it out for an Mk2. It's not really. I'd say it's really low priority, but it is, like I said, if you have nothing else, yeah, you could potentially use that. Then we have Mk2, the 1 star, which should be better than Shadow Dancer, but it is a 1-star. You'd probably want to go for the 2-star. I don't even think I've ever seen that 1-star drop though. The 1-star might be more rare than the 2-star. So on the 2-star page, there's a lot of okay cards. I'm gonna kind of skip over those. But Brooke, again, rather have Leona, but 2-star Brooke is not bad. She's not bad, right? Medium priority. Like I said, if you don't have Leona, use her until you get Leona, but I probably wouldn't level her. Black Gauntlet, again, you definitely want that attack speed. Black Gauntlet is a pretty great card. Then we have the 2-star MK. Obviously, we need that stamina for most dungeons. Really good card. Shadow Dancer. 2-star is semi better than the 1-star. It's still not a great, like, overall, like, it's not a great card for in game. It's not a great card for mid game, but if you're early game, that attack damage may help. And if you have no other cards, don't level it though. Definitely don't level it. And also keep in mind, I'm doing the normal versions. The hidden versions just mean you have increased attributes. So obviously, after you get your cards to a good level, you're gonna want to hidden it, or you're gonna want to go for a hidden version over the normal version if possible. But that's always the case. I kind of assume that doesn't really need to be explained. And here, the only great card that's 3-star in my opinion is Leona. This Asphalt Golem, it's like a weak version of Temptation. So it's not good. Like, it's very, very low tier, but if you have no other actives, maybe possibly use it. But like I said, really the only good card here is Leona. And then you have Force Strike, which could be used as a filler card until you get another critical rate or another crit damage card, one of the other cards that I was talking about. But it is a good filler card if you have nothing else, because Force Strike is pretty common. But yeah, the only really good card here is 3-star is Leona. That's Bay. And then we have 4 stars, dude. So 4 stars, it starts getting a little opinionated, right? Because you have Benares when equipped with attack speed plus 2%, but this 4-star Benares compared to the 5-star Benares, kind of doo-doo. Same thing with Arua, the 4-star Arua compared to the 5-star Arua, kind of doo-doo. But again, if you don't have any other cards, you might want to use them. I personally wouldn't level these unless you have really bad RNG and you've just been playing for X amount of time and you can never get a 5-star. But I probably wouldn't level those, to be honest with you, because they're definitely going to be replaced by their 5-star versions. So Io is pretty good. He's actually like mid tier, I would say. Because you get Soul Force plus 5 or 10 seconds. Nowhere near as good as Rosca, but not a bad card. Not a bad card. Irwin, the Godwin. When you make a critical attack, 5% probability armor penetration, max 2 stacks. That's really good in my opinion. And as for the other Soulworkers, not very good. Maybe Iris. Iris is low tier filler card potentially. Haru, low tier filler card potentially. Oh, and Rita. Yeah, I was looking for Rita. Rita is actually, I would say, mid tier card. If you have enough to level it, could potentially be somewhat high tier. So somewhere between mid to high tier 4-star card. Once you level it, it does really good burst damage. It's an active Akasha though, so you are limited where you can utilize this in raids. So that's kind of why I say mid tier, not high tier. But it's a pretty good active. If you have the cards to level it, she can do some pretty good damage. 5 stars, there are a lot of good 5 stars. There are a lot of good 5 stars. So honestly, it depends on which 5 star you get and what you're gonna want to use, obviously, because it's so hard to get. It's so hard to get a good 5 star. So it's largely dependent on RNG here, but there are various good 5 star Akashas. Hidden Legion, like S tier active. Big Puppet, S tier active. Catherine, pains me to say this. She got clapped. Catherine, you got clapped early season. Why is she so strong? This is an S tier 5 star Akasha from somebody who got clapped in like Dungeon Zone 2. Come on, dude. That's crazy. Eternity, low to mid tier active. Apocalypse, uh, mid tier active. Ultimatum, mid to high tier active. I would even go as far as say high tier active. Scion, low to mid tier 5 star. I mean, if you get it, it's crit damage, you know, whatever, it's 200 crit damage, but that 200 crit damage is kind of negligible to like extra 5% damage to bosses that Catherine has, you know. So Scion is kind of a little bit on the lower tier of the 5 star cards, I would say. And then we have Tenebris. Tenebris is freaking OP, but that attack damage plus 500, I think it could be better. But the damage inflicted to bosses and name monsters is the reason Tenebris is a good card. So I would say he's high tier. He's not S tier. He is very high tier. The thing about Tenebris though is that he has more boss damage than Catherine. So that being said, you probably want to spec for Tenebris. Like if you have both of these, right? You still probably want to spec for Tenebris. Veneris, attack speed. I'd give this an S tier. I'd give this an S tier. That attack speed plus 9% is pretty damn good. Arua, damage inflicted to bosses and name monsters and armor pin. S tier. Very S tier. The stamina recovery and attack damage from this 5 star Relfin. I would say she's high tier. I would say she's high tier. I guess it depends on how much stamina recovery you need, whether you'd want to use this over Mk2, because just going back for just 1 second, right? Your Mk2, the percentage is higher on stamina recovery because you get 10% every 5 seconds. And then for this 5 star, you're getting 8% every 6 seconds. So you're getting 2% less at 1 second lower, but you get 500 attack damage. So, but the only thing about this is that it's most likely going to be harder to level this card. Not most likely, it's 100% going to be harder to level this card than it would be level Mk2. So I guess that's where personal preference comes in, right? And also RNG. Rosca S tier, God tier. No, not Not S tier. She's God tier. Rosca is God tier, and that's the first card I gave God tier on this list. To be honest, the Soul Force is so freaking essential. It increases your overall damage output, attack speed, and Soul Force saves you very often in HH if you can pop your Desire Awakening at certain points of the fight, like trucks, then this could potentially just completely save you. So Rosca, I would give that a God tier rank. Junk Queen, God tier. I'm not just saying this because these are the two cards I have. I chose Junk Queen on purpose, and Rosca, I got really fortunate to pull that in a drop. But these are two God tier cards. And then Greenstone Poison, I would say this is high tier because accuracy is great and critical rate's great. That attack damage is eh, but the crit rate and the accuracy are carrying this card. So paired with the attack damage, you make it pretty good. So I would say it's high tier. It's not S tier. Uh, Somewhere between mid to high tier. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it's high tier. But yeah, I mean that's how I would rate the Akashas for the mobile Soulworker version, for the current version. And this may change as we move forward to other patches, but that's pretty much what you're gonna be looking for, guys. And if you have any, it's all personal preference too. So if you have any comments, you disagree or you agree, just drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, you guys. Peace and love, D.